Hi everyone, welcome back to Joiful Jelly Beans. If you're new to my channel, my name is Joy and the identical twin boys and the jelly beans are my identical twin boys, which you would have seen lots in our vlogs. Again, if you're new, just check out my channel. There are heaps of our vlogs and mostly lots of baby footage, so it's quite unusual that it's just me in front of the camera, and I haven't done a sit down video in ages. But I happen to have a little bit of time today because Daddy is in the living room taking care of the jelly beans, and I've got a couple of things I really wanted to share with you. So the first sit down video I'm going to do is about breast pumping. So if you're expecting a child and are wondering about pumping milk, or if you already have a child and are pumping milk, or you've got something to do with expressing and pumping milk from your breast, then this video is definitely for you. So today I am, as you could have probably seen from the title, I'm going to show you 3 different pumps and talk through which one might be ideal for you. To give you a little bit of a background, because the jelly beans were born at 28 weeks, they obviously didn't eat anything for quite a while, so I was exclusively pumping. My milk luckily came in very quickly. And that's going to be an entire story as to how my milk supply is and all that kind of thing. But it luckily came in very quickly, so I was exclusively pumping from basically day one. You know, I started with hand expressing colostrum, that's what it's called. You know, the yellowish golden stuff, which is extremely valuable for babies. And then after a couple of days, I was on a hospital grade pump because the babies were in NICU. And yeah, I was seen by the lactation specialist there, and basically that's what every NICU mum does. I don't know if that was just me, but you sort of get put on a hospital grade pump while you're in hospital or while you're recovering yourself. I'm actually not sure if that's the same if you've got a term baby and if you have a non-C-section. But I do know that for most C-section mums you get put on a hospital grade pump because you're just in hospital a bit longer, so they sort of take care of things. And then again for NICU mums, you have a hospital grade pump in your baby's room. So for me the sensible thing to do was to hire a hospital grade pump, just because you're pumping so much. And the lactation specialist also said, because I'm having twins, I really need to up my supply. Luckily I have a lot of milk anyway, so that was never really an issue, but for a lot of NICU mums that is a massive issue because your body doesn't really realize how much milk it needs because it doesn't have a baby to tell your body there's a demand. Or even some mums unfortunately can't breastfeed at all because the body just doesn't realize that there's a baby to feed. So because you don't hold your baby, you're not breastfeeding your baby. And in my case, I didn't start breastfeeding Jackson until until around, he was 7 weeks old, 7 to 8 weeks, yeah. And then, you know, it was like twice a day. So I only started breastfeeding completely when we got him home and a couple of days before that in hospital. So that was, he was 9 weeks old at that stage, and excuse me, and 37 weeks gestation, yeah. So basically I was exclusively pumping for 8.5 weeks. So that is a very long time. And I'm still pumping to this day. The jelly beans are now 6 months old, or nearly 7 actually. They're nearly 7 months old, and I'm still pumping at least 4 times a day. In between, while they go through growth spurts and I need to up my supply, I was pumping like 6 to 7 times a day. So I guess I'm telling you all of this because pumping is a very, very big part in my life. And I also know that, you know, some mums choose to not breastfeed at all and pump exclusively. In our case, I'm doing both. Byron is still on oxygen, so he really struggles with breastfeeding because it's just a lot of work for him, and he's done that from day one. We did breastfeeding with nipple shields and all that kind of thing, but mostly it really helps him to take the bottle. So we've been mostly bottle feeding him you know, since he's been home pretty much, so I obviously need to pump for him. And then currently I breastfeed him during the night, and Jackson's kind of like a mixture. I mostly breastfeed, but sometimes we bottle feed him as well. Right, so that's my story. Now let's get on to the breast pump. So I'm going to start with the hospital grade pump, which I've got right here. And I'm going to leave the vlog down below in which I show you this as well. I did a vlog about NICU, and I'll show you this pump while the boys were still in NICU. So it's a massive thing. In hospital it comes on like a little stand thing, and then it's got a holder attached as well, so you can hold the container. This bit here just is a plug, so it plugs into the wall. It doesn't have a battery or anything, so it does need, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a battery, so it does need to be plugged in. And then this one is the tube, which then attaches to the thing that goes onto your breast. So all the hospital grade pumps have got 2 tubes, so you can double pump. And then this one opens like this, and it's got the suction thingy inside. So I only have the one attached here, and that just sort of pulls out like this. And then there's obviously a second one. I believe these cost around $4,000 to $5,000, because the motor and the motor thing in it is just really good. It's really powerful. So then this is the thing that I've currently got attached to it. So I'm currently using the hospital grade pump as well, which is why I've got it at home. But in between I was using different ones, so I'll talk about that in a second. So basically this is what goes into your boob, like this. You suction it on there, and then the tube bit, I guess because it's attached to the motor, is creates a suction. And then you've got this bit down here where the milk drops out, and then this is just a container that catches it. So it's quite simple. You need to detach this, and then this, and then the little yellow thingy in between the membrane to clean it. And then this one comes in different sizes as well. My one is a 27mm. I think that's a 24. I don't know, there's a couple of different sizes, whatever suits your breast. So it's all just plastic. There's no, like, I know there's a couple of breast pumps which have got like cushion things or anything like this. So I feel like in that regard it's quite simple, which is what I like. This doesn't hurt. I know it kind of looks like it's probably going to hurt. It doesn't, and it shouldn't. Like, that's actually one of the really important things with breast pumping. It should not hurt. Just as your baby, really, while it's latching onto you, it really shouldn't hurt. Of course it sometimes does, especially when you're learning, and I feel like it's the same with breast pumping, but ideally it really shouldn't hurt. And that's why you can have the different settings on the machine. So let me plug this in. Okay, we are plugged in, and then this starts it. So you can see in the little display here, you've got 3 droplets here, and if I turn this thing, it goes all the way up, and the machine comes quite loud as well, and it goes all the way down. And that shows you sort of like the suction that's created here, right? So this the little droplets mean is to kind of like what your baby would do, just to when it latches on and it sort of starts to get the milk flow out, so it sort of like stimulates the breast. And then you can push this button here, and those little bars come, and you can hear it makes a different sound, and that's the suction, you know, when your milk has already started flowing, and it sort of has a rhythmic suction to get it out. And again, you can really adjust the setting, which is why it really shouldn't hurt, because you can just adjust how much you want it or you don't want it. Right, so it's very straightforward. That's it. That's a hospital grade pump. As I was saying, I hired that one from NICU for I think 2 months, and that was around 150 New Zealand dollars. So I had that, and then when we got closer to going home, I decided I really liked the Medela system. It was just incredibly easy, and I was obviously very used to the way it worked and used to this little thing, and I was very happy with it. So I decided to purchase the little Medela for home, so to say. So that's the next thing I'm going to show you. So it comes in a little box like this, and it's called the Medela Swing, and this is going to make such a difference in comparison to the size of that massive thing. So I was so happy with it. So it kind of opens like this, and then all that you've got is this little guy. How cool is this? It even has a little clip on at the back, so you can attach it to your belt or something, or to any part of your clothes, so you can literally pump and go. Like, how crazy is that? It's amazing. So again, I'm going to be talking about that in a different video. That was my sort of supply. I get quite a lot of knots in my breast, so I actually pump with one hand, and then the other hand I'll try and get the knots out, which is why I decided to get a single, these are called Swing Single Electric Breast Pumps. So you still have the same tube, but you only have one side to attach it to, and then the other side has got the power attached, right? So you can plug it in. So that's pretty straightforward. Then the bits and pieces look a little bit different, because what you get with this is that you get one of those bases, and then the little Medela container in here. You take this bit and just attach it to here, same thing. And then it also comes with a cat, which is really handy for storage, and it also comes with a little teat that looks like this, so you can actually make the little container a bottle for your baby. So really handy. Great system. The teats are supposed to be really great. We used them at the beginning with Jackson, but then when we got Byron home, we bought the Dr. Brown's bottle for preemies, because it just has a really slow flow. But I've heard great things about the Medela bottles, and Jackson really liked them, and it's just such a handy concept to have, you know, just sort of pump the milk in here, put the teat on, and you're ready to go and feed your baby. So that's really amazing. I'm sorry, I'm like going in between boxes. So I'll show you on this box what it actually comes with. So you have got the motor unit, then you've got the stand, the suction thingy which I just showed you, and the tube, and then the lid, the teat, and obviously the charger. And then the motor, which is really great, is also battery operated, so you don't actually have to have it plugged into the wall, which makes it really handy for on the go, or if you're pumping around the house. So that's another really great thing with these little ones. And honestly, I don't have the batteries in them, because I just use them like always in the same spot around the house, or I just take the charger with me when I've done that a couple of times when I'm going to my parents, because it's super small, so I don't even bother with batteries. The charger is like this tiny little, I'll show you. The charger is just like literally like a normal charger, so it's not bulky or anything, so just take it with me, and then I'll pump there. So it's really easy, super simple. And then the other pump that I've got here, and I'll just quickly show you, and then I'll actually talk about which ones I think will be best for you. The other pump that I've got here is in the same container and everything, but it is a Swing Maxi, and you can already see it's the same motor unit, but it comes with two. So and it's got a little bit of a different membrane, which I'm not sure if it's just because they're upgraded or it's the Maxi thing. I'm sorry, I'm not entirely sure. So instead of looking like this and having the membrane down here and these little white ones, is what creates the suction. So you need to replace them when they rip or something, because otherwise your pump doesn't work anymore. So instead of having this, the membrane is actually in here. So I guess the design is just a bit sleeker, and I felt like this was definitely more powerful. So I quite like this, because the membrane is actually that whole thing. So that's definitely quite cool. And then obviously this just attaches to that, so same thing. And then the motor unit itself, I'm just going to take out the charger just so I don't have it dangling down, but it's the same thing, same motor unit. It says Swing Maxi on top. It's got the clip, it's got the batteries, it's got a hanging thingy, which the other one had as well. So I don't know, you can hang it on the wall or something. And then the tubing just looks a little bit more sophisticated. So this is the tubing for the Swing Maxi, because you can double pump. So you only attach one side to the pump like so, and then you've got this connector thingy in the middle, and ta-da, you've got two to double pump. How cool is this? If you only want a single pump, however, which I think is amazing about this design, is that you just plop one of those in here, and then it creates a loop so the suction isn't lost, and you can still just use one. So and the motor is just a little bit stronger. So that's the double one, and it comes with the teat and everything as well. So the double one comes with the motor unit, and then the only difference is that it comes with 2 stands and 2 of the whole thing, and obviously 2 caps. But other than that, it's the same. And then you can also, that's what I was just talking about earlier, was those bits. You can choose which size you want. So there's a 21 millimeter, 24, 27, and 30 and 36. So I've got an L one, which is a 27, and this one came with an M 24 millimeter. And really you kind of just have to try it out. So the M, I think, is pretty standard, and honestly doesn't make a huge difference between the M and the L, but I prefer the L, the 27 millimeter, and I tried that out in hospital. I think if you buy it in a shop, you could probably just ask if you can try it out, or depending on how long you're in hospital and you're already thinking about these things and you're not buying a pump before, you could just ask to try it out in hospital. But I think generally whenever you buy them, you'll be able to ask them about your breast size, and they'll be able to tell. Okay, so which one is the right pump for you? Well, that I think really depends on your situation. If you are a NICU mum, I think it really pays off to start out with the hospital grade pump. In my case, I hadn't thought about a pump yet, because I thought I'd leave that for later, and there was a lot of things going on. So I really didn't have time to think about which pump I needed, and B, I had the support of the lactation consultant and everything was already there, so it was just really easy for me to have the same pump at home that I do have in hospital. So if you are a NICU mum, I think I would really highly recommend to hire a hospital grade pump for home. So you've got the same thing in NICU and at home for at least 4 weeks if you do happen to have a very early baby and, like us, have a very long stay ahead of you. So you can really make sure that you get your milk supply up to where you need it to be with an excellent pump that has an amazing motor, and that's really your best bet. So I think if you are a NICU mum, again, I would definitely get the hospital grade pump, at least for the first couple of 4 to 6 weeks. It takes 6 weeks to get your supply, to tell your body how much supply you need. So I think for those 6 weeks it really pay off if you really do want to breastfeed and your baby isn't able for those 6 weeks to have a hospital grade pump to really get your supply to where it needs to be. If you are exclusively pumping, doesn't matter if you're a NICU mum or not, I would get a double pump. So that's the last thing I wanted to show you. With the double pumps, you obviously have 2 of those sitting right here, and then it's the most handy thing is to get something like this. So this comes from Medela as well. It's a double pumping bra, and you literally just put it around you like this, and then you close it. Obviously it has to be super tight so the things don't fall out, so it won't fit over my clothes, but basically it's got a zipper down here, and then you close it, and then you've got the 2 holes here, and then you just slide those thingies in and then connect your tubing and everything there, and then you're hands-free, which is amazing. So especially at the beginning when you're supposed to pump for like 20 minutes, and luckily I really had a massive oversupply, so I didn't end up pumping as much as other mums, I didn't end up pumping as much as I was told I needed to pump. But basically you're supposed to be pumping every 3 hours for at least 20 minutes, because that's what your babies would do. So think about how much time you save if you've got your hands free and can do something on their laptop, or I don't know. So those are definitely super handy. Get one of those, get a double pump, and if you decide that you don't need to double pump, you can always switch from the double to the single like I showed you with the tubing. So yeah, I think I'd definitely go for that one. If you are exclusively breastfeeding and only really need to pump, you know, like once a day, or if you don't really want to pump at all and only are pumping, you know, when you're going out or something, you could probably get away with just the swing single. I thought I only needed a single pump, like I said, because I use my other hand to get the knots out, but I wish I would have gotten the Maxi straight away, because it really does pay off to, in my case now, to double pump, just to have the stronger motor base to get the milk out. Yeah, so that's basically all the differences between the breast pumps. Overall, I would definitely get an electric breast pump. If you do want to build up a supply, even if you're exclusively breastfeeding, I would still recommend to pump. You can pump once in the morning or once at night, once in the morning, and that way you can really get your supply up and build a storage of milk in the freezer, which is always great to have. If you want to go out, or for later when you have to sort of top up your baby, if you can't keep up, you never know what's going to happen. So I feel like if you're really set on wanting to feed your baby with breast milk, you would want to pump. Yeah, so wow, lots of information on those pumps. Again, I love the Medela range. I love all three of these pumps. I hope it kind of made sense to what different pumps and for what reasons you might need them. I think between the hospital grade pump and the Swing Maxi and the Swing, I'd go for the Swing Maxi, just because it does convert from a double to a single, so you really can't go wrong with this. Get one of these if you want a double pump, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions whatsoever about any of these, if you're thinking about buying a Medela or just any pump in general, and I left something out there you've got a question about, please leave it down below or send me an email, anything like this. You know, if it's a personal question, just flick me an email or send me an Instagram message, anything like this, and I'll obviously try and answer as best as I can. So anyway, I hope this was really helpful to you. I'm also going to do a review on the Swing Maxi on my blog, just to show you more the pictures and everything, and just get a bit more into depth as to why I think it's your best option. So that's hopefully going to be up by the time this video is up, so I'll leave it down below. And other than this, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, bye.